Hey guys, welcome back. This is Kurt Stubbs with the Ohio High School Hoops Around the State podcast, and this is your regional final preview. I told you I'd be back after our regional semifinals Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Great 3 days of basketball. Let's just jump right into this. Let's start with Division 4. So in Division 4, we've got these 4 games, which will all take place tonight. You got Botkins and Cedarville, Richmond Heights, Warren JFK, New Bremen and Columbus Grove, and then Glenwood and Berlin Highland taking place tonight. Some of our storylines that we're looking at. You got New Bremen and New Boston, which is Glenwood. Were both in the last in the Final Four in 1960. Cedarville, Warren JFK are looking for their first Final Four appearance. Berlin Highland is playing in their 4th consecutive regional final. Richmond Heights is playing in its 3rd regional final in a row, and Columbus Grove is in back-to-back regionals, and Botkins is looking for its first trip to the state Final Four since 1994, losing to Worthington Christian in the semifinals that year. My game of the night is Botkins and Cedarville. I think this should be a really good game. Botkins had an interesting game with Newark Catholic. Newark Catholic came out pretty hot. Jumped on them pretty early, but then Botkins just rolled, making shot after shot. They ended up winning that game, I think, 75-50. And then Cedarville, who was down double digits to Tri-Village, undefeated Tri-Village, comes back and wins that game by 11. Trent Koning, Isaiah Ramey, great 1-2 combo there for the Indians. So Cedarville knocks out, upsets number 1 seeded Tri-Village. So we get Botkins and Cedarville tonight. All right, let's take a look back at my regional semifinal picks. You can see 6-2 there. Missed Tri-Village, missed Antwerp. Upset alert. I put a check mark by both of those because, obviously both teams got beat. So those two were definitely deserving of being on the upset list. Undervalued, still going to leave Cedarville, Warren JFK, and Glenwood on there. And then here is my picks for tonight. I am going to take Botkins over Cedarville, so this is the second time I've picked against Cedarville. Richmond Heights over Warren JFK. I think Columbus Grove is on a mission after the way last year ended, with them being undefeated and then the season ending in the Elite Eight. New Bremen is a really good story. Obviously, they've had success in multiple sports: girls volleyball, boys football, and then this team. There's a lot of guys on this team with a lot of winning pedigree, and they're going to be a tough out tonight. Just having taken out Antwerp, who only had 1 loss on the season. So I do think Columbus Grove is going to win this game, but I think it's going to be another tight one. And then Berlin Highland over Glenwood, New Boston. This one I kicked around for a little bit. New Boston had a bunch of turnovers, 20-plus turnovers against Grandview Heights. A game they led, I want to say, by about 16, 17 points. They let Grandview get that score all the way down to a point. I think Glenwood only scored 4 points in the 4th quarter, but they did find a way to win that game 50-48. Berlin Highland trailed early to Trimble and then, come back and win that game. Uh, I'm going to give Highland the edge here. They've got some guys that have been there before. Will Schlaball was a starter on their state runner-up team in 2019. Isaac Slayball is really coming on for them. Now, New Boston counters with Kyle Sexton, who had 25 points, 13 rebounds against Grandview Heights. So, two-time Division IV District Player of the Year in Southeast Ohio. So they are certainly not going to be an easy out. They only have 2 losses on the year, but I just think Highland's experience, big game experience, is going to pay off here, and I think they advance. All right, Division III, there's your 4 games for Division III. These games will be played on Saturday at various times. Some of the headlines for Division III: Worthington Christian Lutheran East matchup is still on the table. Ottawa Glandorf looking for their 4th state title. Johnstown, Springfield, Shawnee, and Norwayne all looking for their first trip to the Final Four. For Fairland, is playing in its 4th regional in 5 seasons, and Cincinnati Taft looking for their first Final Four since winning it all in 2011 with that talented group led by Adolphus Washington. Games of the night, plural, for Saturday. I couldn't decide between these two. Worthington Christian and Fairland, I think, is going to be a really good game. Johnstown and Ottawa Glandorf, I think, is also going to be a really good game. All right, so here's what I did in Division III in my semis picks. 6-2 here as well. Missed Versailles, Fort Fry, as well. Fairland was man, they were hot Wednesday night. They were really shooting the ball at a high clip, and when they're doing that, they're really tough to beat. So Nathan Speed's team will look to upset Worthington Christian, who had all they could handle with Wheelersburg, which is why I had a check by them because I put them on upset alert, and they had to score the last 12 points of the game to win that game, 50-47. Taft and Anna, I think that game went to overtime. I did miss Versailles. Johnstown and Western Reserve was a pretty good game. Ottawa Glandorf beats Archbold. Lutheran East defeats Mooney in Region 9. Let me apologize to Lutheran East. I had them on the upset alert. They were in no way, shape, or form on upset alert on Tuesday. They played on Tuesday. They just absolutely took apart Mooney. And then Norwayne takes out New Middletown Springfield. All right, let's look at the D3 regional finals picks. I'm going to go Worthington Christian over Fairland. I think they, Wheelersburg is a really good team. They have some big bodies with McCorkle and J.J. Truitt. Matthew Miller, really good point guard. I did not see the end of this game. A buddy of mine told me he was watching the live stream of it. He said that Worthington Christian really pressured Wheelersburg late in that game, was able to keep the ball out of Miller's hands, and that's why they were able to go on that 12-0 run to end the game. I think, this could be interesting, especially if Fairland is punting them in like they did the other night, which they're capable of. So I'm going to go with Worthington Christian. I think, they got that regional jitters out, was able to overcome some adversity and win that game, and I think they're going to win another close game here against Fairland. Taft, I am going to take over Springfield Shawnee. And let me just say this, I'm not extremely familiar with Springfield Shawnee. I do know they have a lot of underclassmen in their lineup. Zion Crow, I think, is one of their sophomore guards. That's a pretty talented kid. They have kind of surprised me. I picked Versailles to win that game in the regional semis, and they were able to beat Versailles. But I don't think they're going to get past Taft. I think Taft beat its biggest foe there in Anna in the semis in overtime. I like Ray Von Griffin and the boys to advance here. Region 10 was probably my toughest call. Typically I would not go against Ottawa Glandorf. I love that program. The community supports it like no other. But this Johnstown team is built very similar to some of those Northwest Ohio teams. You got Gavin Foe, who is a really big athletic guard. You got Jake Lusk, 6'4". I don't know, 245, maybe 240, 245 in there, and he just moves bodies. And when he gets it on the block, he's going to score because he's going to bury you in there. So I think that Johnstown can and will win this game. Again, it's a tough call for me. Always been a fan of the OG program. Tyson McLaughlin does a great job. I just think that, this isn't last year's OG team. Obviously, that they're still really good. They're in the Elite Eight. But I think Johnstown is going to get them, as I said. I think Foe and Lusk and some of their other supporting guys can make some outside shots. I think they're going to be in good position. Owen Nichols, the freshman the senior, and then the freshman, Colin White at OG, are tough as well. But this is going to be a very good game, so make sure you're paying attention to this one. Lutheran East and Norwayne. Norwayne was able to get by New Middletown Springfield. They're not going to be able to get by Lutheran East. So I think those are your four winners in Division 3. Division 2, there's the lineup for Saturday. Games at 3, 1, 2, and 1. Some of the storylines there. Still asking the question, can anybody take down St. V? We'll talk about their semifinal game here in a bit, but that question's getting, the percent chance is getting less and less. Lima Shawnee, seniors still looking to finish that unfinished business. They carried on last night, a hard-fought game over Shelby. And then Buchtel is looking to make its second trip to the Final Four in 3 years, both seasons having Chris Livingston. Game of the night, I think, is going to be Lima Shawnee and Akron Buchtel. I also went 6-2 in Division 2. Lost to McNick. They had a lead in this game, squandered it, ended up going to at least one, maybe two overtimes before Watterson was able to survive. So congratulations to Vince Lombardo, a really, really good basketball coach. Watterson under 500 heading into the tournament. And then the other game I lost was Cheney. I really thought they were going to win. Really liked what I saw for them, but Gilmore Academy, a team I've kind of they should be added to this undervalued list. Ben DeMel, a baseball commit to Penn State, might still be a little bit salty as he took out my alma mater 2 years ago in the state baseball Final Four, the St. Clairsville Red Devils. Ben DeMel, I think, shut him out. So maybe I was a little salty. So congratulations to Gilmore for making the Elite Eight. So Buchtel, this game was close at halftime. It ended up going double figures. Shawnee definitely was in a dogfight with Shelby. Shelby even grabbed the lead in the second half. But Shawnee did finish like thoroughbred in the fourth quarter. George Mangus with 39 points for Shawnee. TJ Pugh was outstanding for Shelby. It was a really, really good game. And looking at the teams remaining, I'd be hard pressed to say that Shelby's not one of the four best teams in the state of Ohio. Sometimes the regions are just lopsided. You look at that region 6, Buchtel, Shawnee, Shelby, Toledo, CC. I mean, that's a really, really strong region. Region 5, St. Vincent, St. Mary's, playing undefeated Struthers, and they win that game by 39. They're up 50-13 at half. It's just kind of demoralizing to the rest of the competition when they're beating people in that manner, because Struthers is a really good team. Undefeated. Obviously, you can't be a bad team and be undefeated. I don't care who you're playing. Scored 116 points on Saturday against Chardon, and like I said earlier in the week, they did give up 108, which was a big red flag to me of them not having much of a shot to beat St. V. But them having 13 at halftime says more about how good St. V's defense is than anything. So they ended up winning that game by 39. CJ overcame a 20-point deficit to beat Tippecanoe. Quite the comeback from the Eagles. And they will get Watterson. And then DeSales, again, that game, DeSales Unioto was, I don't know how many lead changes and ties were in this game, but boy, it was tight all night. And the same thing with Meadowbrook and Warren. So the people at Chillicothe Southeastern got to see two fantastic games last night. All right, let's take a look at the picks in Division 2. I'm going to go DeSales over Meadowbrook, even though I would like to see my man Scooter Tolsda get back to the state for a second time, along with his assistant, Dan Schwederman, a longtime head coach at Shenandoah. I really enjoy those guys. Coached a couple of times as an assistant against Schwederman. His teams were always extremely well prepared. So Scooter Tolsda, having him on the bench, it has been a big boost. And Meadowbrook has had a really nice run of talent. But I am going to take DeSales here. Dayton CJ, I think they finally knock out Watterson. If Watterson is able to win this game and we get two, and DeSales wins, you get two CCL teams in the Final Four. I'm going to take Lima Shawnee over Buchtel. I just think that this group of guys that Shawnee has, Mangus and Elwer and Berkey and Wheeler, I just think that these guys are so seasoned and they've been on the doorstep before. They were in the regional final in 2019, got beat by Columbus South. Last year, undefeated in the regional when the season ended. I just think this team is on a mission to make it to the Final Four, and I think that's going to be enough to get by a really, really good Buchtel team. And then Region 5, St. Vincent St. Mary's is going to beat Gilmore Academy. Division 1, you got games on Saturday at 2. Region 4 has to be the oddball at 7:30. And then 2 and 1. Still looking at the same storylines here. Moeller looking to win their third straight state title. Men are still trying to attempt to go undefeated. And Central Ohio hoping that one of the two teams can win that state championship for the first time since Westerville South in 2016. My game of the night, no question, Gahanna Lincoln and Westerville Central. These two teams split their regular season games, both teams each winning by a single point. So I was 7-0 in my Division I picks. So I'll give myself the Barry Horowitz pat on the back here. If you don't know, he was a former jobber in the WWF. Side note that nobody cares about. The only game, Toledo St. John's and Lima Senior did not happen. 25-6 overall in the regional semis picks. All right, so let's take a look at my regional finals picks in Division I. I'm going to go Menor over Medina. I'm going to go Moeller over Centerville. They played early in the season back in mid-December. Moeller won that game by, I want to say, 13. St. Ignatius, I think they are playing really, really well right now. Cameron Joyce could be joining his father at the state tournament. His father, the coach at St. Vincent St. Mary's. That would be interesting. I would have to look that up. I don't know if there ever has been a father-son combination at the state tournament on coaching two different teams as head coaches. And then I'm going to go, boy, this game is a toss-up. But I just really like, there's just something about this Westerville Central team that I like. Maybe it's their toughness. I think Kevin Martin was a home run hire for Westerville Central. And I think Tesos Cook, Quincy Clark, I think those guys get it done. I think it should be a classic. This game definitely could go either way, but I am tending to lean towards Westerville Central right now. So those are the picks. We'll see how they turn out. I hope everybody enjoys regional final Friday and Saturday. Hopefully you're getting studied up for that bracket for the NCAA to come out on Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon.